9:47, it is time to imagine it on this Saturday morning, and the chief scientist with the Imagination Station, Carl Nelson's here, and there's nothing groovier than a scientist with a crazy idea.
That's right. We're going to go back to the 70s. We're going to make a replica of a lava lamp using stuff you have at home.
That's awesome.
Okay, and it's really easy. And there's a lot of nice science embedded in this.
Yeah,
okay?
I bet.
So some olive oil for you. What I want you to do, our first take at making a lava lamp is we have a container full of water. Add about ½ an inch of olive oil on the top.
Does it matter what kind of olive oil?
Well, I'm using this stuff because it's a little darker so you can see the oil. Again, we're trying to approximate some lava here. So that's probably pretty good right there. Usually this stuff is a little bit more expensive, so we don't want to use too much of it.
Sure.
So our next step is to somehow get this to move. Now, the oil is floating on top because it's less dense than the water. So if we add something that's maybe a little more dense than both, like this salt, go ahead and add a good scoopful of salt right on top of the oil.
And this is just about
just regular table salt. Yeah, just a big good clump. Well, watch what happens. It goes down to the salt goes down to the keep loading it up. Yeah. So the salt is more dense. It falls to the bottom. That's good. Watch what happens. And then the oil is less dense than the water, so it floats back to the top. Now, as a lava lamp, this is kind of a good first approximation, but the problem is we got to keep shoveling in the salt.
Yeah, salt's getting everywhere too.
And the salt, it's messy. So our next step is let's switch things around. Let's use a lot of water and a little bit of a cheap oil. Okay? And that's what we have in here. At the bottom, a little bit of water and some oil.
All right.
Now, right now, the water is hard to see. And if we're talking lava lamps, we really want to add some coloring. So I'm going to give you some red food coloring.
Okay.
I'm going to use some blue food coloring. Two same containers here, same setup. Just go ahead and drip the food coloring in. Just really juice it up, just a lot.
May have food coloring left over from coloring eggs last week.
Exactly. Now, the cool thing here is the food coloring is more dense than the oil, so it's going to sink to the bottom. When it breaks through that bottom layer, it's going to color our water. So now we've got a little bit of lava at the bottom.
Got it.
So we got a good, nice setup here. Yours is taking a little bit of time, but that's okay. In order to get this stuff to move, we're going to use a little chemistry. We're going to use the chemistry of Alka-Seltzer tablets.
Oh, great idea.
Now, these things are basically citric acid and sodium bicarbonate in a dry form. If we add these to water, why don't you go ahead and add some to that container?
All right, all three of these?
Yeah, just
all
dump it
right,
in
all
there.
right. There you go.
Okay, or we could dump it in here too.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
And you see we get nice bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. Now, in this lava lamp, it's not lava-like, right?
not churning.
Neither is this one.
Yeah.
But if we add it to our other two containers here, let's see what happens. So go ahead and grab some more Alka-Seltzer.
Okay.
And break these up like in halves.
Okay.
You want to kind of stretch out a little bit of your Alka-Seltzer. We drop it down in, you can see the tablets are more dense than the oil and the water. They hit the water, they start that reaction, releasing carbon dioxide gas, and we now start to drag up some of that colored water to the top. And when those bubbles of carbon dioxide gas pop at the top, the water sinks back down to the bottom, and we get a nice lava lamp action happening.
How long do you think it'll go?
Well, these will go for like maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, depending on how many drops you put in. And the great thing about this is at the Science Center, we use the same container for like half a year.
Oh, okay.
You can keep juicing it up. Now, after a while, you can see how this red one is getting a lot of drops in there.
Yeah.
In fact, you can even use a flashlight to jazz it up a bit.
That's the real deal right there.
There you go.
You can find your own container and have a lot of fun with that.
You can use any kind of container. My only caution would be you got a lot of oil here. Put the cap back on when it's done fizzing, okay?
Got it.
But you can see this one is going to take a while to clear up. This guy, this is looking really nice here.
Yeah, how about that? Wow,
So-
that is wild.
Easy science, science of density, stuff you have at home. If you're going to use the oil, find the cheapest vegetable oil you can. You
Sure.
don't need anything expensive.
You got it in a big gallon tub.
Big
so.
gallon tub. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, thanks very much, Carl. You can see Carl and all these experiments down at the Imagination Station. As we mentioned, it's the final weekend for Dinosaurs Unearthed, but you also have guitars, and that's also happening.
For another month until the 17th.
Sure. So plenty also down there. Just go ahead and knock on Carl's door when you go into One Discovery Way. That is this week's Imagine It. We're going to turn it now over to Dave with sports.